Two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Delusions of Grandeur. I am your host, and today I decided to subject my fellow uh, film buffs here to since Mr. Blaine Canada here decided to subject us to a sausage party last week, I decided to have us go on about the most raunchiest movie that I could remember from like my childhood, and it just so happens to be South Park: Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, filmed in 1999, and it's directed by Trey Parker, and it's written by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who have worked before, believe it or not, on and they actually stem from Trauma, the company. They did a movie called Cannibal the Musical, but let's see what IMDb says about the film. When Stan Marsh and his friends go see an R-rated movie, they start cursing and their parents think that Canada is to blame.
Okay.
So let's go with Boris. Was this a first time watch for you?
Yes, it was. I have occasionally watched an episode of South Park here and there, but I haven't watched this movie before. And yeah, it was funny. Maybe slightly too political for my regular tastes, but it's still funny. I can't help liking how they made everything over the top, like a small incident with a movie resulting in a war and stuff like that. It's obviously over the top, unrealistic, but that's what makes it hilarious. Uh,
Okay. Is that about it for your first impression then?
Uh, well, I think so. I had quite a bit of fun with it,
Okay.
but
Um, I did too. I did too. So, Mr. Blaine Canada, was this uh, a first watch for you?
No. Um, I think I only saw it one other time. But it was very memorable. I still remembered bits of it. Even though it's been since it came out, that I've seen it. Because it's just that fucking hilarious. Especially the Uncle Fucker song and Blame Canada. Always I remember those. I almost came on as Uncle Fucker, but decided with Blame Canada instead. But the political. See, I've been saying for years that it is fine for them to show people being blown up and destroyed and killed, but they make a big deal out of strong language. They always have. And to make the movie about that, it is fucking hilarious. And they go to war, and then the war is going to cause Satan to come up and rule the world. And it's just obviously super over the top. But that's what makes it, like you said, absolutely fucking hilarious. And not to mention the swears. And I mean, South Park always had some swears in it, but, this one definitely went a little over the top. I don't know about now. I haven't watched South Park in a long time, but yeah, they definitely went over the top in the movie at the time on the swearing and stuff, and it's just absolutely funny, and the whole thing with Satan and Saddam Hussein is just fucking just hilarious as well. So now
Oh, yeah.
fucking Lucifer, bitch.
Yeah, kind of felt
But,
sorry for Satan.
almost, yeah. So yeah, it's my first impression. Very
Okay.
hilarious. Fun film.
I grew up a little bit different. Even though my mom would like tape like a bunch of things for me to watch, South Park was one that she wouldn't want. She didn't want me to watch. Just like Home Alone was another one that she didn't
What?
want me to watch. Yeah, she didn't like it, so she didn't want me to watch it.
Ugh.
Um,
My
and
mom never
Why?
told my mom probably
there were
forced
certain movies that
she had me watch.
she didn't want me to watch Bram Stoker's Dracula with Keanu Reeves.
Well, that was just a bad movie. So
I bought it. It wasn't a bad movie.
we've already had this discussion. I did not like Bram Stoker's Dracula. I did not like the portrayal of Dracula. But yeah, that's beside the point.
But it got to the sex scene, and my mom turned it off and threw out.
Oh yeah, the sex scene. That was the best part of the movie.
Okay, but why Home Alone? Seriously?
Yeah, that like what the.
She thought the kid was annoying, and she didn't want me to do exactly what the kid did because I was left alone sometimes. So
Yeah, you were about to go fortress your house.
I was about to go Rambo Kid Midas on her ass or some shit. That's what she.
What the?
Yeah, by the way,
no offense, but your mom was kind of a kook.
Yeah, I get that, but I still love her dearly. It's just she was overprotective, and that's just how it was. So I did have this on VHS, and then I upgraded it to DVD. But this was obviously one that I kept on respin for much of my teenage life, because one of the things that I was always told was to not swear, or not to do this, not to do that, and keep your mouth shut. Or every time I said a swear word, my mom would look at me, or something like that. That I still say swears.
I was just copying my mother when I swear.
If I can be brutally honest, I think the whole concept of swear words is stupid. Like, both words like fuck and words like teddy bear are just mixtures of vowels and consonants.
Honestly,
we're big deal about.
Honestly, we're in a day and age where it's sticks and stones, man. It's just sticks and stones. Words are just words, and people need to realize that words don't kill people.
Words
people
have no meaning.
Right.
Well, yeah. As long as you don't let words hurt you. I mean, you don't exactly want to be like a Marty McFly. So anytime anybody says, "What are you, chicken?"
Chicken.
You know. But there's always going to be someone that's going to try to get a rise out of you, call you names and shit like that. But you just got to be the better person and suck it up, Buttercup. You know. So.
I'm gonna say "fuck off, asshole."
Right.
Or "that wasn't me, asshole."
Damn these fighting words. But. But this particular feature is, in fact, not only a full-length feature, it is also a musical. So there are actually songs with lyrics, and they actually sound pretty damn good. even for its time. I mean, he definitely has and this is not their first musical. Remember, I said that they had done Cannibal the musical before, so this is their second venture into it, and I actually think they were halfway being like kid friendly with some of it. Like they were trying to gear it a little towards kids, but for the most part, you know, at this point in time, you probably didn't want your kids to see it.
Like I said, my mother watched it with my teenage sister. So.
Oh yeah, but
well,
I had to watch it behind closed doors.
I'd like to ask you guys.
Go. What did you want to ask us?
I was going to ask, where is Tammy tonight?
If South Park, she didn't want to come join.
Yeah, she didn't like South Park, so it's another one of those ones that she thought was stupid. So stupid that she didn't want to rewatch it and didn't want to come on. So those are her thoughts. Any questions?
Real truth.
I, on the other hand, did not. Okay, yeah, it's stupid, but you know what? It's stupid funny. It's
hilarious.
It's hilarious. I mean,
it's not as good as Sausage Party, but
it's not as good as my first time watching it. But I enjoyed rewatching it.
I actually watched it last night,
and I watched it today, and I enjoyed it each time. Because there always seems to be something that each time I watch it, I didn't pay attention to like the last time. It's kind of like, oh yeah, God, some of this movie has aged because of some of its jokes, but god damn, it's still funny.
Yeah, it was funny, but I think I know the real reason why Tammy isn't here.
Mm-hmm.
You killed Tammy, you bastards! I'm sorry, I had to make that joke.
No, but I will say that this. Tammy and I have been watching.
Did she try to light her ass or fart on fire?
Although I wonder what kind of heaven she would have seen.
Yeah, probably not a bunch of movies.
I'm sorry. I just had to make that stupid joke.
I liked Kenny's heaven. That was great.
Well, that's one of the sticks that South Park always had. In almost every single episode that Kenny was in, he had to die in some way, shape, or form.
Speaking of this, I have to mention I kept hearing about that. First time I ever watched South Park was the first episode they didn't kill him. I was like, I kept hearing about them killing Kenny. They almost killed him several times throughout the episode, but that was the Christmas special.
I don't think that they had actually gotten around to actually being as outrageous as they are now. But one thing that I will say about South Park today, as well as yesteryear, is that they have always kept current. And at this point in time, I swear, at the time of 1999, this was fucking current as all hell. Because you've got Bill Clinton as president in the South Park universe. You've got Saddam Hussein, who's been killed.
I was expecting a Monica Lewinsky joke in there, but
was it 6 weeks or 6 days? I don't think Monica Lewinsky had happened yet.
Okay, that's why there's no joke in there yet.
I don't think that had happened just yet, but I do remember Bill Clinton was still in office at that point in time, so that is definitely current. Uh, but yeah, we have. I believe is it Stan or Kyle that it starts out with? I think it starts out with Stan,
Well,
or
Kyle's
is it
mom.
Kyle? Okay,
Yes.
See,
Kyle is.
funny thing is
The one
Kyle's
singing
mom.
the.
Kyle's mom is the same name as my mom,
That, yeah.
Sheila. So my mom probably lost that even higher too, because they're the same name. Kyle's mom is big that bitch, big that bitch, big that bitch. Kyle's mom is big that bitch. Another great song. But he always says that throughout the show as well. He's always talking about Kyle's mom's big fat bitch. They just don't usually have a whole song about it with everyone joining in, which was made it even more hilarious. Stop calling my mom a big fat bitch.
The first song in here is I guess it's called Mountain Town.
Oh yeah,
and
Great
he's basically just
town.
introducing his Canadian town of South Park.
Not Canadian.
Well, somewhat near Canada.
Yes, it's near Canada.
Somewhat near. It's a mountain town. It's right near a mountain, and it's called South Park. And he's basically introducing us to the city of South Park. We see the mother who has that shirt that says "I'm with stupid."
Kenny's mother.
And it goes past a couple of bombs, and the way people walk in here is just kind of like a little bounce as they're walking down the sidewalks. So that's one thing. And the thing about South Park is that anyone that isn't white or something like that, they often tend to have their mouths move somewhat different. And they definitely get into some racial jokes later on in the movie. So I'm surprised that cancel culture hasn't gotten to this film as of yet. With all the race slurs that have been in everything else, why haven't they attacked this movie?
I think
Operation Stand Behind the Blackies.
I think
Operation Human Shield.
The darkies, that's what they called them.
I think all those cancel culture assholes just deserve and need a good beat up.
But in any case, Kyle is basically skipping down the road, and he runs into his pal Cartman. And I guess then he also runs into their buddy Stan. And
they go to everyone's house.
I think
everyone's house and gets them.
I think the first character we see in the first scene is Stan, after all.
Yeah, Stan, and then Cartman comes along, and then of course they run into Kenny.
Kenny was second.
Yeah, and I guess it's Cartman that they run into last, and they all want to go to this.
Last. He's sitting on sitting on the floor, sitting on the couch watching TV.
Yeah, he's eating not the cuckoo
cheesy
puffs at this moment, the cheesy poops, yes, because he's always eating something.
I want my cheesy puffs.
But they all want to go see the new Terrence and Phillips movie. So what they do is they gather up Cartman, Kenny, and all them, and they basically go to the theater, and they're told, "Hey, you have to come with an adult. You do realize it's an R-rated movie," and everybody remembers that when the theater patrons actually gave a shit about what age you were. So I mean, While
I
I was
wanted to
growing
watch
up,
Hard to Kill. But luckily, my mother didn't want to see it, but she was there, so she's like, "I'm his mom. He has my permission to go in and see it. I'm just gonna watch a different movie." So, it was my birthday, my 16th birthday, I believe. So, wasn't quite old enough to see it by myself, but my mother gave me permission. So,
well,
they
while I
took
was
it
growing
away.
up, it wasn't as what is it? Cold in stone that if you weren't like 18 or 21, you. Uh, I mean, you couldn't see the movie without an adult or something like that, you know. So, um, I,
Yeah,
uh,
so that's
I I'm not sure if I don't think I saw this movie in the theater, but I do remember picking it up, and I do remember it was um a constant rewatch for me because I loved the jokes in here. But going forward, they end up grabbing a bum off the street, promising him $10, and
so we
he
could go
tells
back to
them
vodka.
he the ticket dude tells him, "Hey, you do realize it is a R-rated movie, and it shouldn't be for kids." And the bum's like, "You do realize that it might not be for kids. You want your fucking $10?"
To get your vodka and get drunk. And
He's
He's
like,
like,
six
"Oh,
tickets,
six
please.
tickets, please."
And so they're sitting in front in the front fucking row, and I always love going to the front row myself.
Me too.
I didn't like being like anywhere like in the back or anything like that. I wanted to be front and center.
Although we did move when ET started because we thought it was gonna be a horror movie and it seemed kind of scary in the beginning, so we kind of moved.
But the movie began, and it starts out with Terrence and Phil telling a joke. Does anyone remember the joke?
No,
Something about farts, I think, but I don't
I
remember
don't think
exactly.
I don't think the farts wasn't the first joke, was it? Remember?
Um, they did fart, but believe it was this. What did the Spanish priest say to the Iranian gynecologist? And I believe it was Philip who got up, spread his legs, and farted. So it was always the fart jokes. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is Conan and Brian. He was voiced by Brent Spiner and he played Data from Star Trek.
Whoa.
And I believe Mike Judge it kind of played a small part. He's behind Beavis and Butthead. And Eric Idle ended up being he's from the Monty Python flying circus era with with that kind of British humor. So I thought that was kind of cool that these like three like people, they're all comedians, ended up helping behind this. So,
I didn't know Brett Spinner was a comedian.
Yeah, he if you've ever seen some of his short skits, he plays this like country pumpkin dude on Night Court. He played like on 2 episodes. He played this like country hick.
I probably don't remember it.
Yeah, he plays this country hick with like this country wife of his, and they act like they're so poor and stuff. But
I'm so poor I can't afford to pay attention.
But in any case, so they are the only ones that end up staying in the theater, and they enjoyed it. All of them.
Yeah,
Because
that was funny too.
there is a a song that Terrence and Phillips sang called Uncle Fuckers, and
That's
it
what
is
everybody loves.
hilarious.
Uncle
And
fucker, you're an uncle fucker, and I'm an uncle
I
fucker
love how
too.
Ike the baby is along with them, and he's like mouthing some of the words or saying some of the words as the like I think he said donkey fucker or something like that.
The Canadian baby.
But no, Ike always reminded me of like a cracked egg. Like whenever he spoke, it was like kind of funny. But well, that's what he kind of reminded me, like a hard boiled egg that just the shell was taken off, and then they just split it in half whenever he talked. So
That's pretty accurate.
and Saddam Hussein, they just put his face on there and moved his eyes around and kind of did the same thing. So
Yeah, that was cool.
but in any case, it's after they seen the movie is when I think sometime after that that is when Kenny said that he could show that you could actually light your ass on fire.
That was actually the second time they saw it.
Okay, that's right. They did go and repeat
because
scene in the movie.
They went to their class where they learned not to swear, and they didn't want to swear anymore, and they said, "Well, you guys did a good job. You have the rest of the day to do what you want." And they next thing you know, you see them at some movie. That's
Okay,
when he
so
bet him $10 that he could.
So after the
he could
theater,
miss
they
Captain Fire.
went to school, and that's where we see Mr. Garrison and his little hand puppet, Mr. Hand, which honestly that is the character teacher for the elementary school, and he also seems to be also the school counselor, or because.
Yeah.
Mr. Garrison sends them after they after Cartman says "suck my balls,"
Suck my ass.
and he took his words to a megaphone. You didn't hear me? Suck my balls. But
what did you say?
He sends them all to the school counselor, and their mothers come in, and that's when Sheila starts to get on the ball about cracking down on protecting what their kids see, and eventually she creates a somewhat cult of like mothers and parents from like all over, and she calls it MAC. Mothers Against Canadians, I think
Canada. Mothers Against
Canada.
Yeah.
And it just goes out of hand because she takes it to the top of everything. She gets with Bill Clinton, and I guess she's like the becomes like
Secretary of State.
Yeah. And it just gets worse and worse because it just alienates the rest of these kids, because these kids want to stand up for their beliefs. They like Terrence and Philip, and on the side, Stan really likes this girl named Wendy, and she seems to be hanging out with this very well-spoken dude that seems to talk a little funny and a little weird. And he says he's got a 4.0 grade average. Who the fuck cares? And it seems like he's like a cool kid, So, but every time Stan's around Wendy, he throws up. Like,
and she's like, ew, gross.
So it kind of deters her from talking to him or him from her. But there is a song that he sings whenever he's around her, and I think it always starts. There's this girl that I like,
Yep.
There's also the song that you've talked about, where now that Sheila has started to take and be against the Canadians, Terrence and Philip, the movie, and then everything that's involved with swearing and things that could be violent for kids, because they actually have a burning of sorts of all things. I think I remember seeing it in Alanis Morissette.
Let's not forget about the joke that said, Canada's horrible with your things. Brian Adams, like, no, the Canadian government has apologized several times to Brian Adams.
Yeah, there is an interview between an outraged mother and the Canadian government that
so there's you guys with your bitty little eyes and that's.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We consider that racist. You are a racist, ma'am. You are out of line. There are definitely several jokes in there, and the country in South Park ends up backing her, and basically what they have set in motion is that Terrence and Philip are in fact going to be executed at this USO event where the military is involved, and you see all kinds of like army dudes, and they're all marching. Well, I also think that they are actually somewhat mocking the 1950s or even the 1940s, the wartime, because they talk about putting the Canadians into prison camps like we did the Japanese at one point in time, and things of that nature. So it definitely gets political. But on that note, there's stuff that's happening in the background, like the fact that Kenny lit his ass on fire and
died.
He died. And
he lit his ass on fire. The ambulance showed up.
By the way,
and then
the doctor that puts
the
baked potato in his the doctor puts a baked potato in his heart.
But you forgot. I'm trying to say how that happened before they went to the hospital.
I'm sorry, Krol. What did you say?
The ambulance showed up, and then the truck pushed the ambulance out of the way and dropped base salts on Kenny, which killed him. And then he was like, said, "You killed Kenny, you bastard!" And then we saw him in the hospital, and they were operating, and then they ended up accidentally putting a baked potato. Well, the good news is you're alive, but we accidentally put a baked potato in, and you have 10 seconds to live.
Yeah, guess who voiced that doctor?
Who?
George Clooney.
Oh, wow!
George Clooney voiced that doctor.
Wow.
Honestly, I actually like the fact that George Clooney voiced that doctor putting that baked potato in, because if I didn't listen to it again, I probably wouldn't have thought about it. But watching the movie again this morning, I heard George Clooney in his voice.
He was a lot better. He was a lot better at the Doctor than he was as Batman.
That's for damn sure. I'll agree with you on that, because I hated George Clooney as Batman.
Me too. Even worse than Val Kilmer was.
Well, and Val Kilmer was pretty bad.
Right.
But
I agree with you there on that one too.
in any case, moving on. So Kenny then floats to heaven, and he pushes a button, and then suddenly he's going down to hell. Which I swear to God,
What was his heaven?
I thought that. It was a bunch of naked chicks up there.
We didn't see any pussy, but we did see a bunch of
Hey,
boobies.
anybody who's go to heaven and sees pussy while they're going up there, they. But
Pussy.
I'm not a Christian, but it makes me want to go to heaven if that's heaven.
Right.
Send me now, shit. Way better than this life.
Yeah, and then of course when you get in there, you just realize that they didn't show their bottom halves, and they've all got penises. Anyways,
it's supposed to be heaven, not hell.
But in any case,
that's hell. Angels are
supposed to be eunuchs. Anyways, but let's get down to business here. So he is not allowed into heaven, and he drops straight to
well,
to
if you
hell.
remember correctly, when he said he was going to the movies, and the mother said, "You're supposed to be going to church." Well, you can answer to Satan then, and he says, "Okay." So, yeah, his mother warned him that he's going to answer to Satan. We're not going to church. We're going to see the movie.
When she said that, I just knew it was foreshadowing of something like that.
And I got to be honest, I do like the music as he's going down. I thought it was Metallica at first, but which
nice metal music.
I wonder if it still is, because the soundtrack doesn't mention that song, but I think it is Metallica as he's going down.
It sounds like so.
It does sound like Metallica, so I think it is. But as he's going downwards, you see faces like Gandhi and
that was hilarious. Like, why is Gandhi there?
Oh yeah,
why? Who else was there? Do you remember?
Hitler.
Hitler, Gandhi. I thought I recognized someone else, but once he gets to hell, I loved the look of hell. I loved the look of
I love the look of Satan
creatures. The look of Satan is pretty good too. I do have to agree with that.
Yeah, I think the way they created hell here is quite cool.
Because all those skeletons and shit that's down there, it looks like they still have meat on their bones.
Oh.
It reminded me a lot of Bill and Ted visited hell as well.
But anyways, we once Kenny gets to the bottom of hell, he meets Satan, and I guess he meets the person who has made Satan his bitch. Saddam Hussein, which at that time, Saddam Hussein, we had actually had we at that time arrested Saddam Hussein, or had we actually killed him? I was trying to remember. Whatever it was relevant and newsworthy at the time, because because he was in the news all the time, and evidently Saddam Hussein is dead, and I guess he's made Satan as a bitch. What did you think about the devil, Boris? I know that you worship him.
Come on.
Hell no.
Come on. Well, Nice one. No, I don't literally worship him, but yeah, as some of you know, I do like movies and TV shows and stuff that deals with Satan and demons and stuff like that. I do find those things cool. And yeah, he was actually quite cool here. I liked his song that we got to hear later on.
Oh heck yeah! I honestly think that was like the best song and the best singer that we had for this movie because
Shut your
he
fuck up,
really
say
gets
something,
down.
fucker.
I actually like his song. It it amused me because he really like sang out his heart, you know.
Yeah, blow it out your ass.
he's not happy in the
The whole,
relationship that he has with Saddam because I guess in the beginning they used to talk a lot more, and now he just uses him for sex. And there is a moment that I really enjoy. I don't know why, but he's playing with like these rubber dildos in bed later on. And he's like, hey, it's not real. Come on, guy.
And Saddam kept showing his penis, and he's like, it's not real.
Yeah, that's the part that I kind of enjoyed because then he pulled out another one. He was like, hey, this one's real. And the devil just walks away. Apparently there is an ancient prophecy that if they spill the blood of these Canadians,
innocent blood on American shores,
blood on American soil, then the devil will rise
up with the horde of demons and take over the world.
And that's basically the backstory story. And Kenny actually, in fact, haunts Cartman.
Yeah.
And this is why Cartman and a lot of the other children in South Park have actually been outfitted with these mechanisms that are connected
Cartman,
to their head.
He was the
test subject.
Yeah, he's the guinea pig. I love it. When he says, "I'm pissed off." I can't say pissed off.
Oh yeah.
He can't swear words.
I love when Kyle made it. Called him a big fat ass, and he started swearing at him, and he busts him down. That was hilarious.
And I forgot about the scene, like somewhat before this haunting, is when they were looking for what the clitoris was. On
yeah.
Because Chef had actually told him about.
Said, find the clitoris. How do I get Wendy to like me? Find the clitoris. And he's like, what's the clitoris? Oh wait, never mind. Forget I said anything.
Oh my!
So they look up the clitoris online, and it takes them to a porn site that just so happens to be one of their mothers is being gang raped.
Yeah, the one that looks like a sweet person, but explained what a rim job was.
Right. But if
you were in some porno, you'd tell me, wouldn't you? Yes, dear.
But anyways, Kenny haunts Cartman and basically tells him about this whole Saddam and the devil coming to Earth if if these Canadians are in fact killed and the blood hits the soil. Basically, because Stan is in love with Wendy and he sees that this guy is a little bit more political, and this whole Satan deal, and that the fact that they think that the whole idea of executing this Terrence and Phillip all because of like these words kickstarts them into gathering together.
Vive la resistance.
the Viva la Resistance, which the Viva la Resistance segments kind of remind me of like uh, one of my favorite stories, books that I read was Les Miserables, and in there is a revolution that
I saw
happens.
I saw
The movie musical.
No, the play.
I saw the musical as well. And I actually think that's one of the best plays out there, to be honest, because it speaks quite a lot about revolution and how people go off during war and die and come back. And for whatever reason, the whole revolutionary part from that musical kind of reminded me of these segments for some reason, because they gathered together in a room, discussing plans and how to get Terrence and Philip out, and plus it's a musical, so they go. They're told to go find this guy that's called the Mole. He is also grounded, just like them.
Yeah, because you're a kid.
And I like this kid.
A kid
for
who
some
smokes.
reason. Yep. Because evidently smoking was bad at the time. It still is, but
it is.
But that being said, he dies, and he gets his song, and for some reason, I do like the 4.0 grade averages like song for the revolution too. For some reason, it's just I hear the lilt in his voice, so I can tell that whoever's singing for him knows how to sing. So, that being said, all hell breaks loose. Literally. Because even though they tried to, and Kyle actually does stand up to his mother finally, because he's afraid to do so, but he does, and they try to save Terrence and Philip from being executed, but Kyle's mom Sheila goes and kills both Terrence and Philip, and that's when Satan and Saddam come up from hell, and so does Kenny and all these demons, and that's when all hell breaks loose. Mr. Hand gets a little salute there because I guess Mr. Garrison kind of sort of dies, and yet Mr. Hand.
Well, he thinks he's gonna die, so he hands the puppet to Cotton to take care of it.
And guess what? Mr. Hand also ends up going back down to hell with the devil because he won't be so lonely.
You forgot the part where Saddam Hussein was taking over, and Satan was all upset, saying he was the king of the world or whatever, and Kenny just talked to him, and he's like, "You're right," and Satan kicks him back to hell, and then tells Kenny he can have one wish for helping him out, and so he wished that everything would
and
go
I
back
forgot
to the way
that
it was.
Saddam Hussein also has a song called "I Can Change."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can change.
Which Kenny has actually been talking to the devil ever since he was down below in hell. He said he should probably kick him to the curb, and he tries, and that's when the Saddam basically comes out with the song and saying that he can change. Well, it doesn't work the second time, and also you forget that Cartman. Something happened to Cartman where now he can use his swear words for good.
Oh yeah. He started the thing started short circuiting, and he was able to use lightning bolts, and he started zapping Saddam. Yeah, and then Saddam's like help me, Satan, you bitch, and something like that, and that's when he's like, that's it, and just drop kicks him. Yeah, he kind of looked like Palpatine, lightning Luke Skywalker, and Satan was like Darth Vader to help him,
And ultimately, they have a finale song that involves Saddam Hussein and the whole like cast stuff, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. Satan goes back to hell, and he basically
with Kenny,
with
and
Kenny
puppet.
and the puppet. And he basically knows now that he can be strong without, someone else like with him or whatever. But Stan gets with Wendy, which is cool.
Yeah, she's like, oh, he never had a chance with me. Fuck him. Which Wendy's always been like kind of proper throughout the whole thing. She never swore or anything, and then all of a sudden, at the end, that's when she swore. But you forgot about him finding the clitoris and the clitoris.
Yes,
clitoris
which in fact was voiced by the same woman who voiced Sheila. Which
nice one.
Which Trey Parker.
Big fat bitch.
Trey Parker.
I forgot that song.
Trey Parker's voices Stan Marsh, Eric Cartman, Satan, Mr. Herbert Garrison, Philip Niles, Argyle, Randy Marsh, Christoph the Mole, Tom the news reporter, midget in a bikini, Canadian ambassador, Bombardiers, Mr. Mackey, the Army General, Ned Garblansky, and some additional voices. Matt Stone, he voiced Kyle Broflovsky, Kenny McCormick, Saddam Hussein, Terrence Henry, Stute, Ticket Taker, Jimbo Cairn, Gerald Broflovsky, Bill Gates, and some additional voices. And it's Mary K. Bergman who voices Leanne Cartman, Sheila Broflovsky, Sharon Marsh, Wendy Testaberger, the clitoris, and some additional voices. And Isaac Hayes. Oh, God. He voices Chef.
Chef.
He voices Chef.
Yeah, he's always been Chef.
George Clooney voiced Dr. Gawaish. Brent Spiner voiced Conan O'Brien, and Eric Idle was Dr. Vosknacker. He was the guy, that scientist dude that put that mechanical thing in Cartman.
Yeah, so, Vosknackers.
But at the end of everything, what did y'all think about the production?
Oh, it was animated, so it was great. It was like it was just like the TV show. I mean, it's not top notch, which they make fun of that. I mean, they're talking about Terrence and Philip, but they're really talking about South Park, how it's horribly drawn, and it's drawn simplistic for a reason. It's not meant for the animation. It's the content that is great about the show.
Yeah, it is a fairly simplistic animation, but if it was any other way, it wouldn't have been what it is.
It wouldn't have worked as well as it has.
And yeah, it was a show that started in 1996 and continues to this day. So
and the animation hasn't changed.
There's got to be something in the ratings that is keeping it out there to the general public. So
yeah, it's fucking funny.
Well, I know that Tammy has said that her friend Scott, he's like her best friend, and he said that he actually watches South Park, and the biggest reason why he watches it is because he says it's current. It's current with the times, and I think he's right. So.
Of course, like I said, they gotta keep up with Family Guy too.
Well, Family Guy, I think, should have died off a long ago,
But bite your fucking tongue. Family Guy's way better than South Park. No offense.
But in any case, I thought the production was pretty damn good for its time. I mean, it's animated.
It was simplistic, but it was meant to be. So I mean, it was exactly what it was meant to be. So you can't complain about that. It wasn't. They're not trying. They were not trying to do anything great with the animation. That's the whole point of the movie the show.
What I do want to say is that Blame Canada actually got an Academy Award nomination.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The song "Blame Canada" actually got a nominated award. That was kind of fun to.
I wonder what Canada thought about that. Like people from Canada actually talk about that song.
Dude, the biggest thing I liked about this production was the depiction of hell.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was really well done.
It did. I liked it too.
And Satan. Satan was. I liked the way they drew Satan.
Oh yeah,
little legs and gigantic body,
without a doubt.
Small head.
Yeah, he's cool.
Did anyone want to say anything about the music?
Oh, I loved it. It was great. I mean, from beginning to end, like just about every song was fun. Some more than others. Blame Canada and Uncle Fucker are definitely the two best songs in my opinion.
Yeah, although I think my favorite song would still be the one Satan was singing, and by the
yeah, mine's Blame Canada.
Thinking about living where
I think my favorite.
I'm sorry, I had a glitch. What did you say?
I think my favorite. Yeah, he said "Blames Canada," and I think the Devil's song was the best. Although Uncle Fucker is a slow second, and I do enjoy Kyle's Mom is a Bitch.
Kyle's Mom is a bitch.
Yeah,
definitely. I think a tied for second with Uncle Fucker.
But the guy who did the score for South Park, he's got an interesting filmography here. It was Mark Shaman who did the score for South Park, and he's done stuff for Stephen King's Misery, City Slickers, The Addams Family, the movie, Sister Act, Mr. Saturday Night, A Few Good Men, Sleepless in Seattle, Addams Family Values, City Slickers 2, North, The American President, Bogus, The First Wives Club, Ghosts of Mississippi, In and Out, My Giant, Simon Birch, Patch Adams, The Out of Towners remake, before he did South Park, Bigger, Long, and Uncut. After he did The Story of Us, The Kid, How Harry Met Sally, some of the stuff behind the video short documentary of that. 61, Alex and Emma, Rumor Has It, behind the remake of Hairspray, The Bucket List, The Magic of Belle Isle, Parental Guidance, and So It Goes, and behind Mary Poppins Returns, which is one of the more recent ones. So, did any of y'all hear the score at all? I'm not sure if y'all were listening or anything. I honestly didn't remember the score all that much myself. I listened to the music of the musical, apertures and stuff like that, and I guess I didn't really notice it all that much. What about you guys?
Well, uh, I was listening to the songs too. I mean, it was impossible not to notice them in a movie like this.
No, it definitely was impossible not to hear the music in the film. So let's go to favorite scenes. Um, let's start with you, Blame Canada. Uh, what is your favorite scene, and if you had a favorite character, what would it be?
Um, uh, I like Cartman's just fucking funny. I mean, they all swear, but he's always been the worst, and the funny fact he had that chip, and it still didn't really stop him. He kept zapping himself, which is pretty funny. So,
Okay. Is that pretty much it for you then?
as scene goes, I don't know, there's a lot of scenes, but probably when Kenny goes to hell and seeing hell and Satan and everything, like we've already discussed, it was really well done, and so most of the animation, like we said, is simplistic, but hell, they really did a pretty damn good job, and so I'd have to say that's the best scene in the movie.
Okay. Heading over to you, Boris. If there was a favorite scene or favorite character, which would they be?
Well, my favorite character would probably be Satan, although yeah, maybe
Hell, not us.
because I generally like satanic. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, "Hail Natas."
Hello?
Hail Natas.
He's
Uh, uh, so yeah, he would probably be my favorite character, and my favorite scene, well, either Satan's song, which I found interesting because the whole thing about him fantasizing about living on Earth, it reminded me of this teacher Lucifer. He left hell and went to live on Earth in Los Angeles and joined the police. And if you are familiar with that show, you know the story. So it kind of reminded me
I
of
love the
that,
show.
which I found hilarious. And also when Satan threw Saddam down to hell and he fell on what was it when
some kind of spikes or
Saddam
something like that.
supposedly failed and died. That was hilarious. Yeah, that was funny.
It was enjoyable. I would have to say that my favorite character would probably be the devil myself. Um,
Devil War.
and my favorite scenes have to do within the confines of hell, and I love the fact that Kenny's heart was like instituted with a baked potato. And he had like 3 seconds to live, and I also
That was
enjoyed the moment where their computer was fucking up, and you saw Saddam for just a moment, and they're like, Windows 95 was bring Bill Gates in here, which
Windows 98.
That's my name for today, Bill Gates. By the way, hello. So they brought Bill Gates in, and they told him, "Hey, I thought this was supposed to be faster," and he's like, "It is supposed to be faster." Bang, and they killed him off.
Spudow.
But
yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are just so many small moments.
Yeah, the whole scene with his death, his accident, and everything, it was all one big spudow.
Yeah, It definitely was. I guess you could say Kenny was assaulted.
Yes.
But in any case, is there anything else that y'all wanted to mention that we might not have mentioned during the show here? That anything at all that you want to say more about this movie?
Shut your fucking face,
Not
Uncle
sure.
Fucker.
Alrighty then. So that has been our discussion, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining us. I thought we had a blast rewatching the film. I actually hadn't seen it in a while. I have honestly, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, or at least a teenager. So, but it was one that I had rewatched when I was that younger, and it is cool to revisit from time to time. And I found out that there were 3 other films that they did after this. That's kind of cool. I guess they did one called Imagination Land, the movie, and then they did 2 in 2021 called Post-Pandemic and Return to Post-Pandemic, or Post-COVID, I think it's called. Post-COVID and Return to Post-COVID. That's what it's called.
Those are probably interesting.
Well, they're definitely longer versions of the pandemic special they did for the show. So, but in any case, ladies and gentlemen, just go out and see the film if you have not. It is funny, hilarious, and it is comedic as all hell. So let us know down in the comments what you thought of the film. You could probably be disgusted, and I guess what is the term? If you wanted to, I guess you could just be annoyed when watching the film. But you know what? See it, watch it, like, share, and subscribe, and hopefully you'll be back next week. Whose turn is it next week? Is it yours, Boris, or is it? I think it might be
maybe.
yours.
Maybe it is actually.
I think it's your turn next week, and then it'll be Tammy's the following. So.
It's Boris' turn next week, and then Tammy's, and mine, and then yours.
Yep.
Okay, I'll think of something.
Alrighty then. So
we'll
be back, ladies and gentlemen, with that mysterious film. So,
yes, folks, it'll probably be a Hell Satan movie.
Come back and join us for the discussion next week, Sunday. So thank you for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night, everyone.
All. Good night.
Good day. I said good day. Blame Canada. To be